By Wednesday night, I had actually wrapped up Xenothreat, running all the way through Mission 5, where you pick up the cargo. Unfortunately, not everybody in the carnival had had the same opportunities. Real life called. So instead, I decided to pop in and help them get over the line too. I joined up with Knight and 2 random players, and we decided to go and tackle Xenothreat at SPK in Knight's Carrack. Having been through this one a couple times, I decided that it was worth the regeneration and to load it up with both gear and armor. Of course, the Carrack wasn't without its bugs. Both the elevators weren't working, and when I tried to log into the med center to actually set my profile for there, it took a couple tries before it eventually let me onto the bed and allowed me to regenerate there. With that set, it was nice to be able to just pull into SPK without having to worry about the usual whole dying thing. So I grabbed my gun, and knowing that there was actually a time limit this time, which I didn't the first time I ran this mission, the hack actually able to go through before I could run in, I decided not to let this happen this time, especially since there was invisible stuff on the ground that was preventing us from landing. Want me to close the ramp? Knight, want me to close that ramp? Or are you good?
Hold on. There's like some invisible ship or some obstacle here.
There could be. You might need to park just off the pad. And just... There you go. It's close. I'm gonna go for it. I decided it was close enough and just went for it, not wanting the timer to run out and having to do this all again. Alright, I'm going to start clearing. Matthias, one of the random players, joined me and we ran in to clear the place and start the clock. Okay, we need to stop the hack. We do have a limited amount of time to do it. So I'm gonna...
I'm still in the seat, in the pilot seat.
Okay, nope, that's fine. First up was to abort the hack, which was already 2/3 of the way through. And then find the pass key to start the hack of our own. Grabbing the hacking chip and this will start it up. Alright, get ready. There it is. Of course, I knew the second that this card was inserted, we'd start getting Xenothreat flooding in the doors, slow at first, but they'd pick up speed over time. And it was later, when you started running low on ammunition and taking all the damage, that those numbers started to add up. Okay, baddies will start spawning.
Incoming. I'm coming in.
The idea was a relatively simple one at first, is to take out and just knock out the first guys you find, so that they wouldn't respawn that set. Of course, this becomes trickier and trickier as they come in more heavier and heavier. I took a few risks, but I decided with being able to respawn on the Carrack was enough of a calculation. Of course, at a certain point, you just have to start shooting. Another time I'd ran this, I actually failed by not running by and checking the terminal often enough, and the hack actually stopped. So this time I sort of had a psychopathic need to just check it every single time I ran by. Desync started to add up, as it has on this mission several times. As the bodies started to pile up and the injuries started to pile up, the server itself started to choke, meaning bad guys would teleport in. Damage wouldn't register until a little bit later, and even slamming home a new mag wouldn't make a difference.
Keep an eye out. I want to see what the fuss is.
Let's go. Let's fight.
That's alright. I'm gonna go check it out.
Let's head out.
Well, that definitely wasn't Holly.
Look at it.
I'll tell you this.
As the timer continued to go, the enemies got heavier and heavier, which is part of the thrill of this particular mission. Of course, the problem being that heavier enemies take more ammunition to take down. And, of course, by now I was starting to run low on ammunition, and desync was starting to be a factor. With my gun not reloading, I had to switch to my pistol. And then I started taking late damage. Kind of exacerbated the problem. Eventually, my assault rifle did rearm.
So we better search high and low to find him.
Take him out.
You better look into this.
Thankfully, the enemies weren't as responsive in this one as they have been in others, but they were still responsive enough to cause some serious damage.
Let's see what's going on.
At the halfway mark, I already had tier 3 injuries on my arms and my chest. And the multiple med pens are starting to have an effect on drug levels.
This slippery bastard now.
Teleporting enemies didn't make things any easier. But then it became the familiar pattern of running door to door, looking up the stairs, making sure I was keeping the numbers of Xenothreat down so they couldn't push through the door. Then I'd run by, check the terminal, and check the next door. Unfortunately, guys are sneaking by now.
They're here someplace.
Again, I found I couldn't reload, and again, the servers eventually caught up to me. I decided to pick up an extra gun just in case. A Damaco, actually a weapon that I lost the last time I ran this mission. It was nice to pick up a new one, kind of my weapon of choice.
Let's see what's going on.
No one stops looking until we find the bad. Don't let anyone get away.
Heavies were starting to push in now, and with only 4 people as opposed to the 5 that I had run the last time I was successful, this was actually making me a little bit nervous, but the guys that we picked up were pretty handy. It helped I knew what to expect from the mission and what to look for. Of course, now I was out of med pens, or at least I thought I was. I forgot that I had them in my leg armor.
Don't let anyone get away. Understand?
It seemed the med pens weren't working, so I eventually went to use the med gun instead. Of course, desync would again prove to be a point when later I would find out that all of those med pens would kick in at once, and it would overdrug me pretty fast. Thankfully, the mission was nearly over. Running very low on ammo, I realized that the Damaco actually had a 100-round mag anyway, and I eventually realized that I'd need that ammunition in order to succeed.
Coming in the door
With the
here.
mission almost over, I wasn't sure if I would actually need it or not. Almost got him. Almost there, guys, almost there. And there the drugs kicked in.
Let's go to work.
At this point is just holding on as the clock ticked down to the end. Realizing I was running low on ammo, I just decided to do the next smart thing and loot one of the Xenothreat guys that had the right kind of gun. And now is just holding on. And there it was.
Just gonna go and check this out.
Just a couple more button presses and we will have won this one.
Wherever they are, I want them found.
Guess I'll go take a look.
Don't give him any mercy.
Of course, then there's the matter of actually getting out of SPK with all of the people, not leaving anyone behind, but not getting a trespassing charge either. Alright, gang, scatter. It looked like everybody was here, but by the time I made it out to the Carrack, I realized that we had left a couple behind. Figured they were probably looting. We have everybody or someone down? Deciding not to wait, I thought I'd go and warm the ship up at least. Oh, okay. All right. I'm grabbing the con. Unless you want it.
Everyone's on takeoff.
All right. Take it off. And then it was just a matter of getting us out of there before another player decided that this character made too juicy of a target. The fact that I was locked up made me a little bit nervous. We're being locked up.
Say it again.
We're being locked up.
What do you mean?
Somebody has a radar lock on us.
No, it was like that when we came in.
Roger that. Thankfully, the character has good acceleration. I am so drugged up right now. The world is just a blurry mess, and I got 20% health. Special thanks to Matthias185 and Jethawk. I didn't think it was possible to run this mission with 4, but especially not with 2 of them being strangers, but we did it. You both were great teammates.
Landing complete. Engines offline.
All right, and it's time for dinner, so I gotta jet off now.
Roger that. Let me get off your ship.